Hello everybody, it's Laura Morley here, and I am loving these nappy chats that I'm having with parents all around Australasia, and I'm really lucky today to have Shoshannah joining us, and she's going to be talking all about her journey. So welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself and let us know how old your little one is?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Shoshannah Shand. My little one is, I think he's about 23 months old now, getting closer to 2.
Great. And where in New Zealand are you based?
We're based in Nelson.
It's so beautiful there. Oh my gosh. Is it true? I went to Nelson at the beginning of this year and I was only there for like one day, but is it true that Nelson is always beautifully sunny, or is that just a rumor?
I think it's a rumour because about 50% of the time it's raining.
Okay. Oh, nice. So when you were thinking about starting cloth nappies with your little one, why did you decide to use cloth nappies and not use disposables full time?
Well, I'm not sure if I was planning on doing it to start with, but I had a friend who was having a baby at the same time, and she was going to do cloth nappies. So she'd bought like a whole stash and everything. And so she was like, I'll send you a couple of nappies over to try and see how you go. And I didn't actually go home till my baby was about 6 weeks old. And so I didn't try them till we got home. I had to go to the city to have him, and then had to go back to the country where we were staying. Where our home was. So I tried them when he was about 8 weeks old, and was quite I was a bit nervous because I was like, don't even have any clue how these work. Like, what even are they? How do you wash them? All the information was overwhelming. So I just threw it all away, put the nappy on him, and sent pictures to my friend. Was like, how's it going? And she was like giving me tips and stuff, and just kind of fumbled my way through the start of it.
So when you thought about starting cloth nappies, what was the thing that kind of freaked you out the most before you'd even put one on your little boy? Like, what was the thing that held you back thinking, I'm not sure about this?
It was definitely the cost factor. In my head, I thought that's ridiculous paying so much money for nappies. Laughable now, but yeah, it was the cost factor, and it was just I had no idea what kind of style to get. So I was put off by the overwhelm of how many different varieties there were.
Yeah. And in the end, do you think it was really just using a friend's cloth nappies that actually got you into it because you thought it gave you the confidence to actually give it a go without all the expense of, starting the journey and buying a massive big stash of them and then thinking you've got the wrong thing?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's why otherwise I don't think I would have started, to be honest.
Right. And so at the moment, like fast forward to where you are at the moment, are you using cloth full-time or part-time? How does your routine look?
We use cloth full time. We have since about when we started, but it was kind of a gradual process. So we used them full time at home at first, and then we used them full time when we went out, and it was just a gradual process as we went on. And then for the last year, I think we've used it full time because it's just been easier. I hate buying disposables. I've spent so much money on cloth nappies now that I'm like, well, might as well just keep using them. And we used disposables at night for a few months after he turned 1 because he was just out wetting everything, and then we all had gastro, and it was just a nightmare trying to do cloth for a while, and so switched back again. So it's kind of been like a full time, but there's been times where we've stopped for various reasons.
Yeah. And what happens with your booster combo at the moment? Like, what's working well for you? Are you more going towards natural fibers, or are you using microfiber, or what's your combo that seems to be working?
I hate microfiber. I use it because I've got some nappies that I've bought that have it. I prefer using bamboo. It's probably my favourite one. Bamboo, sometimes cotton. I actually really like cotton, but I use all natural fibres. I also use hemp as well. My favourite combination is probably like a mixture of hemp and bamboo, but I prefer bamboo because hemp is not as moldable.
How do you find using the hemp boosters? Like, what makes them different in your experience from using the bamboo?
The hemp boosters that I've got a few different brands of ones, and they're quite stiff, which I know if you put them in the dryer, I can soften them up a bit, but I find that because they're quite stiff, they often don't seal in the nappy as well. So I'll pair a hemp with a microfiber insert in just one of my nappies, but I don't use them at night time.
Right. So do you find the microfiber will then kind of lock, like quickly get the moisture away and then the hemp will lock it away? Is that what you find?
Yeah, it's the best combination, I think.
Yeah. And what happens with the drying of them though? Like, do you do anything, like do you find that they take a lot longer to dry if they're hemp, or what's it like with those?
The hemp surprisingly actually dries faster than the bamboo. I'm not sure if it's because they're thinner inserts, but they're actually my fastest drying inserts.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. They just always, dry fast.
Yeah. So in terms of cleaning your nappies, are you cleaning like every day or every couple of days, or how do you kind of make it work for you?
It's normally when I remember. every 2 days or every third day, I'll do a main wash, and when I remember, I'll do a pre-wash daily. So I'm quite all over the show with it because I use them and I wash them, but I don't keep track of when that is. It just happens. So far, we haven't had any problems with like ammonia buildup or staining or anything like that, and they always smell clean. So it was my theory that everything was okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have like a favorite washing powder or liquid that you're using that's working really well for you? Because obviously you've got a good system because you're not having like the smells or anything.
Yeah, I use I think it's called Earthwise. So Earthwise comes in like a cardboard box. I like it because it's paper box instead of like a plastic container. We use that one, and that works amazingly well because a lot of people don't recommend using eco detergents, but because I'm quite sensitive to fragrances and artificial things, I can only use natural things like washing powder and stuff like that. But I will add nappy sand in occasionally to give it like an extra booster.
Yeah. And does it take ages for all your stuff to dry, or do you just put it out and have it dry during the day, or are you putting it out overnight? Where do you kind of dry all your stuff and how do you get it dry?
Well, recently I seem to be doing it all at night time. So I'll put a wash on at night and then I'll hang it up beside the fire. During the daytime, I'll hang it out on the clothesline, and I leave the inserts inside drying because they dry. Not the inserts. I leave the shells inside because the sun obviously can damage them, so they dry really quick, regardless of where they are.
Fantastic. And in terms of your sassy pans, have you got a favourite nappy that you're absolutely loving at the moment that's bringing you joy?
We love the fantails. I'm not sure what that one's called. It's just called fantails.
Yeah. Have you got the green one or the rust coloured one?
Yeah, the green one, and it's probably one of our favourites at the moment.
What is it that you love about it?
I think I'm always like a bit of a mixture with prints and stuff, but I like really colourful bright prints, but I also was quite drawn to that one because it was really simple. I think the forest green kind of reminded me of like the bush and the forest, and I've always been a massive fan of fantails, so I grew up having them around my house all the time because we lived out in the bush.
Ah.
Yeah. So I love anything with native birds. I've always loved. And so I think that's probably why it's been my favourite one, drawn to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. It's interesting because in doing these chats, there's other people that have said that they love the fantails as well. And I'm starting to run out of them, and I'm just like, oh no, it's gonna be all bad. Yeah, I think it's one of those prints which, is going to see a child through a lot of their life because, and you could use them in the future, like give them away or have another child use them again, because I feel like it's one of those things where it's not going to date, like it's quite a classic kind of thing that's going to last for ages. And lots of people say that they quite like gender neutral because then they feel like they, can use them interchangeably, and that's why they like them. So yeah, I'm glad it's bringing you joy.
Yeah, no, we like it. And I almost wish I'd got the rust one too. Maybe I need to add it to my list. Before it's
out. So before we go, have you got any advice or tips that you'd want to let a new parent know, someone who's never tried cloth nappies before? If you were to meet them on the street or chat to them online, what is it that you'd want to tell them?
I would just say buy a nappy and use it. because that's just the way you go. You just find a nappy, use it. If it doesn't work, you know, you can just resell it or pass it on to someone else.
Yeah,
And
I think what you said before of like some people just make it harder than it needs to be, and it's not as scary as people make out.
if it's too complicated, it just goes over my head. Like when I first looked at wash routines, and it was like on the Clean Cloth Nappies page, I think it was, and it was like such a detailed routine. I'm like, so I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm going to ruin my nappies. So I just freaked out, and I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to try it anyways. And I've put nappy shells through the dryer, which you're not supposed to do, and they survived. And I've also washed nappy shells at 95 degrees accidentally, and there was no delamination. So I'm pretty certain that it takes a lot to stuff a nappy up.
I love it.
Because if it's a really good quality nappy,
Yeah,
it will do everything.
yeah, I think you're right. I guess when they're giving advice, they're thinking of a range of different nappies, and not all of them are as good a quality as others, eh? So I can see why that would be the case. Yeah.
I think that they're all fantastic nappies. So it's like, if someone asks me, I'm like, well, here's 20 different nappies that I've used, and I love them all.
That's great. It's like the addiction is real though, eh? Because it's like, as you said before, having a list of what you want to add to next. I think if it brings you joy, then go for it.
Exactly. I'm like, motherhood is hard, and there's so many like hard parts of it. And nappies are like cloth nappies are beautiful. And if you find a print that brings you joy, why not use it? You're the one changing the nappy.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
only
like,
hope for your sake that toilet training doesn't happen too quickly. So you
well,
can enjoy them for longer.
he's getting close to the toilet training, and I'm like, I need to stop buying nappies, but that's so fun.
That's all right. I'll keep bringing out some wee pants, so there's still training pants you can grab.
Yeah, I might dabble soon.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting. It's been really lovely hearing your journey and your story of where you're at and what the journey's been up till now. And you know, your passion for cloth nappies really shows through. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been lovely.